Did you know, according to Injury Facts of 2017, 5,051 people died due to choking in 2015? I bring this up because most of these deaths could have possibly been prevented through the act of CPR. So today, I'm going to show you how to perform CPR on an unconscious victim. The first thing you're going to do before you even begin CPR is checking the scene around you to make sure it is safe. You do not want to perform CPR if you yourself are not safe. The second thing you're going to do is either have someone close by or you yourself call 911 before you begin CPR. The third thing you're going to do is open up the airway of the victim. You do this by grabbing the sides of the head of the victim and tilting it back so that their chin is now poking out and their trachea is now open. Again, you grab the sides of the head, tilt back so that the chin is poking out and the trachea is now open. After you do this, you're going to want to listen for a breath. You do this by bringing your head down to the victim's mouth. You bring your ear down to their mouth and you make sure to watch their chest to see if it is rising and falling. You do this for about 10 seconds. If you do not hear any breath and you do not see any rise in chest, that is when you move on to CPR. The first thing you're going to do when performing CPR is chest compressions. When performing chest compressions, you want to make sure that you are going at least 2.5 inches deep into the chest. You do this by putting one hand over the other and interlocking that hand down, and you want to keep your arms straight. You do not bend at the elbows as you administer the compressions because that will not give you a deep enough compression. So keeping your arms straight and body stiff, you want to move your entire body as you perform the compressions. And as you do so, you want to keep a rhythm so that you do at least 100 compressions per minute. How you do this is putting your hands in the middle of the chest with your arms straight and the shoulders right above the hands. You count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 until you reach 30 compressions. After you've reached 30 compressions, you are going to administer 2 rescue breaths. You do this by plugging the nose of the victim and bringing your lips down to the victim's lips and creating a seal. You do this so you know when you exhale your breath, you know for sure that it is going into the lungs of the victim. When you are administering the rescue breaths, you want to watch the chest while you do it to make sure you see a rise in the chest. If you do not see a rise in the chest, the first thing you want to do is reposition the head. So you try and tilt back the head as much as you can, again, to try and really open up that trachea. Then you administer 2 more rescue breaths. If those 2 breaths do not go in, then you must check inside the victim's mouth to see if there is any obstruction. If you do not see an obstruction, go back to administering 30 chest compressions and then see if the object is there. And you keep going back and forth until you find the obstruction and remove it. Once you remove the obstruction, if the victim is still not breathing and unresponsive, you continue doing the 30 chest compressions to the 2 rescue breaths. You continue this until either EMS arrives and they take over, the person shows signs of life, or you become too exhausted to continue. So the reason that you want to make sure before performing CPR that the scene is safe is so you don't put yourself in danger. You are the primary person in this situation, and it is important to make sure you are safe to perform the CPR. If it is not, do not perform it. You also want to make sure either you yourself or you make sure someone else calls 911 before you begin CPR so you know that there is someone on their way there are medical professionals on their way to take over the situation if need be. When administering the chest compressions, you want to make sure that you are going at least 2 inches deep so that whatever obstruction is stuck in the trachea, you are physically pushing out. And as you are administering 2 rescue breaths, you want to make sure to watch for a rise in the chest so you know that your breath is going into their lungs. Knowing these few easy steps can prepare you for a situation that you think could never happen to you, and ultimately you could end up saving someone's life. Thank you for listening.